Figured out. Okay. Hey Mason, those 6 threes you hit the other day. I know that was the most you've hit this year. Do you know, is that the most you've ever hit in a game in high school or JUCO, or
No,
it's not the most, or you don't know?
no, it's not the most.
What's the most, and who was it against?
10. It was in JUCO against Eastern Oklahoma on the road.
You don't have to give me the date if you don't want to. But to do 6 in the SEC, and plus they fouled you on one, you got 2 more points. You really got 20 points off threes. Just what kind of zone were you in? Because I know a couple games earlier you were struggling to hit threes.
Just taking the right approach of coming off the bench. So for me to take the right approach, it really just helped my game, knowing that I could still do the things I did starting coming off the bench. So for me, doing that mentality, getting it the right way, it helped me a lot.
Well, yeah, the first couple games, because you started at 25 or 26 or whatever. What was it? What kind of adjustment was it coming off the bench? And some guys, they don't handle that too well. Looks like you've taken to it okay. What's that been like for you?
It's been different, but like I said, like my mom always tells me, God has a plan for everybody. So it's just an adjustment period for me, and I'm just getting adjusted for it. So for me to come off the bench, helping the bench with scoring, it's good for the team.
Mike Anderson said he still considers you a starter. You played 29 minutes, so you played starters minutes. I mean, do you just look at it like maybe you're just getting to the game a little later?
Yeah, just a little later. Just see where I can get my shots from, see where I can help the team, see the little things that the starters don't see that I can see on the bench.
I guess the Vanderbilt game here is pretty well down to the wire. Just kind of what do you remember of that game and Vanderbilt's team?
Vanderbilt had a really good team. Their offensive sets kind of gave us a little problem in the first game. So just coming in, I know Coach A going to get us ready for their sets today. But remembering that game is Keyshawn Emery hitting a big shot for us to win the game for us. So for him to hit that and get us a win at SEC, it was a good win.
Lately, they've kind of struggled shooting a three, but they have a good three-point potential. Does that concern you at all after what Auburn did?
Yes, a little bit, yes. Because we knew Auburn was a good team, a good shooting team, but the way they shot at Auburn, at the crib, anybody is potential to shoot like that in the SEC. So Vanderbilt, we just got to make sure we don't take them for granted.
Yeah, Mason, they lost 17 in a row. They're 0-16. Rick Barnes, a Tennessee coach, said, hey, they're going to beat somebody. I know you don't want it to be you. Just is there extra pressure when you're playing a team that's got a long losing streak and they've been coming close? And, man, you don't want to be the team that they finally get over the hump against.
Yeah, we don't want to be that team at all. And SC, I know they're 0-15. They're 0-16. Like Coach Rick Barnes said, they're gonna beat somebody, and we don't want that to be us. But like I said, we don't want to take them for granted. We want to make sure we come in and do what we need to do to get a W, because we still in the hunt for something.
You feel extra pressure playing a team that's so desperate, and you don't want to be the team that loses to them. Is that extra pressure?
A little bit, because they want to play, they want to win. They want to win. So them being at the crib, and it's probably their last home game, they don't want to go. They don't want to go. What's the word? Yeah, they don't want to go winless in the SEC. That's bad for them and the coach.
Yes.
Bob stole all my questions, but Mason, just the monkey off the back. Do you and your teammates feel like the monkey's off your back now that you're able to get that win over Ole Miss and break that streak?
Yes. Oof, that was a long streak, and we just wanted to win. And it was good to win on Saturday, especially with the 94 team coming in. We knew how special that was to Coach A and Coach Thurm and the recent players that came. So we just wanted to come out and fight real hard and try to get a W. And we was blessed to get a W and blessed to have Jalen make that shot at the end.
You've had 2 30-point games. You also had some games where you shot like 1 for 10. Is that just kind of the transition when you're going from junior college to high-level Division I? Or what do you attribute that to, and kind of what's the season been like for you?
Very inconsistent. I know myself. I harp on myself a lot because I know I can be better, and I know I can be more consistent. But making that transition from JUCO to high major, sometimes my body wear down, and sometimes I come in ready, sometimes I don't. That's really the mental game that I have to get better at. Like this year, that's what I learned a lot, is just making sure I get ready for every game, preparing myself for every game, making sure I take care of my body. That's just some of the important stuff I did this year, come from a long season, especially from JUCO.
Do you feel like you can be more consistent here closing out the season now that you've got all these games under your belt?
I definitely feel like I could be more consistent, definitely. Way a lot better.
I guess
Mason, Mason, another question. You've been pretty successful driving to the basket and being able to get the basket and draw that foul. Can you kind of talk about how you're able to, especially down late in games, try to penetrate and get to the basket and be successful there where you're able to draw a foul and get to the free throw line?
Yes, ma'am. I know for me, having a having a good frame body, being 6'5", I know they're gonna help me on the three, so I know I can get to the rack. I know I can draw fouls. I know I can finish with my body. So I know that when I have a little guard or a guard I know I can beat, I won't want to get fouled because I'm a good free throw shooter. Recently, I've been kind of iffy, but I know that when it get down to the low moments of the games, low minutes, I want to get to the free throw line. I want to make sure we get some time off the clock, make sure we draw fouls because I know that Coach A wants us to drive instead of stealing for three. So knowing me, knowing the team, know I can get to the line and finish, they just tell me to keep driving, don't settle.
Had a real big game against him. I think scored 28. Just how important is it to get him established early against these guys?
It's definitely important to get Daniel going because when Daniel get going, it opens up me, Zay, and all the other players that get going on our team. So when we know that Daniel's going, they're going to double team him. So that's going to be open shots for me and Zay and Keyshawn, Desi. So when Daniel get going, that's when we're really dangerous because we know that they can't guard all of us. If they double team Daniel, they can't guard us. If they not double team Daniel, that's going to leave us open. So Daniel's a big part of the team.
The youth you guys have on the team, if you had known what the record was going to be at this point, would you have been surprised at the beginning of the season?
No. Yeah. Kinda. Because we feel like we gave some games away this year that could have helped us down the road. But we just steady pushing, we steady learning. So as long as we keep fighting every game, it's pretty good.
Aware of the way the court is set up at Vanderbilt with the benches set up along the baseline?
Nope, not at all.
When you guys are, I guess, on the other end, on the opposite end of Mike, how important is communication going to be?
I heard Vanderbilt gym is really difficult. So communication is going to be a big thing, knowing you can't hear your coach, knowing just the players out there. Vanderbilt can hear their players for the first half, but we can't hear our coach. So as long as we just keep communicating like we have the last couple games, we should be good. I feel like Coach A is trusting us more and more as the games goes on, so we don't have to look at him every play.
Hey, Mason, what was your reaction when you found out you were going to come off the bench the first time? Because it seems like you're playing better a couple games into it.
Just that when I first found out, it was kind of like I was kind of down because I didn't like me being a starter for 26 games. It's kind of hard being like coming off the bench, but I just had to look at it the right way. I had to look at it for the team standpoint that I know I can come off the bench and I know I can kill still being a starter, but still doing it on the bench too. So me just taking that into consideration for the team and knowing Coach A, he just told me just relax. You know, the games before that I wasn't relaxed. I was putting pressure on myself. So it was kind of good to bring me off the bench so I could see other things instead of basketball. I could see how they guarding, what's open. So the last couple games coming off the bench has been really good for me because now I'm just relaxing, just playing in the flow, just controlling what I can control.
Yeah, obviously, you guys played real well. Kentucky didn't get the win, but played real well. And then you beat a real good Ole Miss team. After that losing streak, how much better are you guys feeling, and what kind of confidence do you think you take into the last stretch here now?
Confidence is high. We always kept the confidence. Some games we lost, but we never lost the confidence. Like when we played at Kentucky, we seen that we can be like one of the top teams in the SEC. Even though we lost, by 3-4, we knew that we was right there on the borderline of beating top 5 teams. So when we saw that, our confidence was always high, but that even just skyrocketed to the top because we knew that we belonged up to the top. So coming into Ole Miss, we wanted to win, and that's what we did.
When was the last time you didn't start? Like in high school or?
Oh, I didn't start my first 10 games of junior college. I didn't start the first 10 games, and then I went through that patch, and then I skyrocketed from there.
And you guys have had 5 1-point. You talk about the close games, a lot of close games, but 5 1-point games. What's it been like being involved in 5 1-point games?
Oh, either you win some, you lose some. That's what I learned this year. Either they hit a shot, we hit a shot, we turn over, they turn over. It's just battle of coin flip, heads or tails. Who wins? That's what I learned.